I just got fucking shot at on the way to school. I ain't got no fucking 5-year plan. I'm out here trying to survive in this motherfucker. I'll be lucky if my mama don't have to bury me. I might not even make it back home. You see what I'm saying? And so I get to school and I'm late, you know, because I always showed up late. And I get to school and my guidance counselor over here talking about, so man, you always late, you sleeping in class, all this other stuff. You don't care about your future. I don't think you care about your life. What's your 5-year plan? I said, lady, I just got fucking shot at on the way to school. I ain't got no fucking 5-year plan. And so now it's like I'm always fighting. And my mom was like, man, somebody gonna kill you. And I didn't believe her until when I was going to school, people shooting at me. I went through all of this, bro. But look at where I'm at now. I did the work.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? I did the work. So when people tell me, hey, bro, you ain't been through nothing, that's a compliment, man. I take it as a compliment. And guess what? My wife, bro, I told her, I said, hey, you know, I want to start podcasting and creating content, right? So
yeah.
I was doing a mobile podcast. So I go to different business owners' location. I set up all my lights and stuff. I did that for about a month and I was getting burnt out, bro. And I told her, I was like, you know, I want to turn my studio into a garage. I was trying to put up like $10K to buy all the fancy gear and stuff like that. And so some months go by and she said, hey, like, I'm gonna need you like to stay out the garage. You put together a surprise for you.
Ooh.
This was around Christmas. Yeah, this was around Christmas. My mind didn't even go to a studio because, you know, like as a man, bro, you might say that you want certain things. You know, we talk, but we right back to the work, you know, all the action and stuff. You know what I mean? So I told her and I forgot, man, for Christmas, I had all of this, bro. She like she got me my lights, my camera, my plants, you know, she put together my whole studio for me. So I can't even take credit. Basically what I'm saying, I can't take credit. Shout out to my wife.
Hey, shout out to the wives, man, because my wife be keeping me on point too. And I learned when I learned to let my ego down, and because my wife used to always tell me, man, you know, you messing up a lot of stuff. You know, you getting angry, you making decisions under anger, your ego. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just let you do it to see how things go, bro. And ever since then, bro, it's like my life has been so peaceful when I listen to her, when I go to her, and before I make a major decision. Instead of crashing everything how I used to, bro, right. Letting my ego down has been like the biggest blessing, bro. And she's been giving me guidance because it's funny, bro. I was actually nervous about doing live podcasts. You know, so I've been practicing on doing my lives. And she told me, she said, Justin, man, she was like, the only reason you will be nervous if you get on there and you talking about stuff you have no idea about. She was like, get on there and just tell your story. And you won't be nervous because it's the truth. And I'm like, wow, you're right. As simple as that sounds. But man, shout out to the wives, man. They always keep us on point, man. That keep us tracking, keep us.
Hey, and you know what, man, shout out to your wife as well, man, because there's something to be said about somebody that can help you execute your vision or just help you build it. You see what I'm saying? And so like as a king of the kingdom, we try to do everything. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not our job to do everything, man. You got to have a team around you. So, you know, like for me, like I'm the grunt person. I put in the hard work. I get all the rebounds, get the steals. But my wife, man, she really be drawing stuff up because like she's smart like that. So I think as leaders, you gotta understand like your area of expertise and realize when you're not in your area of expertise. You see what I'm saying? So then when somebody else, as leaders, if we're not in our area of expertise, we got to become a follower. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes a master still got to become a student. So I'll be sitting there. I'll be like, hey, listen, I can't lie. I don't know how to pay the bills. I know how to put the money in there. But shoot, man, I'm stuff is late all the time. And so how many times are we going to keep getting late fees because of my ego, because I want to do it? Man, bump that. Hey, that stuff on automatic payment. She got everything set up. You see what I'm saying? So you need people to put together a system and then we execute it. You see what I'm saying? So shout out to her because, bro, you got to have people around you that's going to help you build this thing, man.
I see you on a whole nother level, bro, just by this first statement that you made, because when you a thought leader has a responsibility and you know, to be humble, but to also to deliver good messages, you know, and not let their ego get involved with it. But by you saying that, bro, how you understand that you may not be the greatest in this area, because a lot of dudes will get stuck like that and let their ego crash the whole ship before they can even build it up. But by you saying
Yeah.
that you understand that you're not the expert in every area and that you can let your ego down and take advice and become a listener, bro. That's powerful, bro. You on a whole nother level. But I already knew you was on another level, man, when I was watching your podcast, man. My boy all the way from Indiana, man. I started following this man probably 6 months ago. Never thought I'd be doing a podcast with you, bro. Cause you said some amazing stuff on one of the reels I seen you. I'm like, bro, on another level. And just recently I went through, like I said, I went through the page and I was scoping you out. I'm like, oh yeah, he really turned up like that. He really, cause a leader has to have to have that hyper awareness. And I see you aware, hey, I'm not strong in this area. I need help in this area. But when you have that hyper awareness, it gets you so far because you don't let your ego trip you up and be your downfall.
Right. No, hey, and that's facts, man. And the like I remember one time when I was in high school, I played running back, right? And I had this tradition to where I prayed before every game. You feel me? Every game I'm on my knee, I'm praying. But since I grew up, getting bullied and beat up and all kind of stuff like that, now all of a sudden, all that time I done put into the gym, I'm a varsity running back. I never had that kind of fame and attention before, right? And so, man, I was doing
Yeah.
my thing. I was praying. People on my face, they hyped me up. Man, I tore my leg up, and I was out for the entire season. And I remember, I was talking to my dad one time. And I told him what happened, and he said, "Well, son, I have been noticing you. I'll ask you if you was praying before your games. You had told me no. Maybe this is a sign from God. So take this injury seriously and figure out what you need to learn from it." And I went to church, and he said, and the pastor felt like he was talking to me. You ever sit down in the congregation, and then the pastor is speaking, and he don't even know you? I just went to a random church. He don't even know me. And he said, he who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. So, like for me, after that experience, I just try to be like, I try to be humble. I try to realize, like, yeah, man, like you might be great at a thing, but that don't make you the greatest. There's still a lot to learn. So that's self-awareness, and it's like that's why I can collab with other people, like reaching out to you, like saying, let's do an episode, because sometimes you don't know how high or low somebody see you in their regards, right? So for me, I've been on my personal branding journey, content journey. I reached out to some people when I was a nobody in their eyes. I always felt like a somebody, but to them I was a nobody because I didn't have enough followers. And then they would tell me, I had a dude hit me up yesterday. He responded back to me, but originally when I reached out to him, he told
Yeah.
me, "Hey man, you don't got enough followers. My podcast is only for winners." Right? And
Wow, for
so
real?
yeah, on some real stuff. He said I reached out to him to do a podcast with him. And this is the biggest reason I feel like you got to stop judging people based on how many followers they have. That don't tell you anything about their character. That don't tell you anything about their morals. That don't tell you about a person. There's people with a lot of followers and they a-holes, right? And so he looked at my followers and told me, "No, man, my podcast is only for winners." Now I'm winning, and he hit me back up and he said, like, "Hey, man, remember me? Man, I knew you can do it, bro." You know what I mean? Like he was like, "Man, I just said that to motivate you, but I'd love for you to come on the podcast." I hit him back, and I said, "Hey, bro, I only go on people podcasts who wanted me to win in the first place, right?" And so,
Wow.
I do not let my how much success I have or how much losing I have change the person I am. I'm gonna be who I am. I'm gonna be a humble person. I'm not too good to ask and reach out like, "Hey, I would love to do an episode with you. Hey, would you mind coming and do an episode with me?" Because you gotta ask. And so I see the way that you thought about me. I thought about your stuff when I saw it. I was like, "Yo, dude is cooking." You know what I mean? And I've seen a lot of our similarities. You see what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like I think people think that their content is just post randomly and stuff like that. Bro, what I'm learning as far as like personal branding and content, your content should be an extension of you. Your content should be a reflection of you. So when people watch your videos, are they going to look at you and say, "You know what? I can relate to this person. I have a connection with this person." And so like that's what I try to make sure. Like when I'm putting out pieces of content, I'm trying to check a box and saying like, if this person didn't meet me in person, could they feel like they knew me? You feel me?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's how I felt about you because I see a lot of the traits because you got like that general, like a general of an army leadership traits, man. You talk with the authority, I was like, man, bro ain't even playing on the mic, man. So and yeah, bro, you do, bro. You got that generalship, man. But it's that story is crazy, bro, how you got denied like that. And I call those gatekeepers. It's a lot of gatekeepers, and I always wonder why certain people get on a certain level and they just feel like they don't want to help the next person up. And I thought like maybe because a lot of people do things off of, you know, what they've been through and how they were treated on the way coming up. So that guy could have easily did that because he was rejected by somebody. So he rejected you in return. It's almost like the generational trauma, just keeping the cycle going. Because I always wonder, why do the gatekeepers gatekeep? Why do they get to a certain level and they don't want to help the next person up? But that's crazy how he responded to you. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That is insane. This podcast is only for winners. But bro, that's I even thought about getting a clothing line made and saying no gatekeepers, bro. Because this is how serious I was about the no gatekeeping thing. Because me, I try to help everybody, bro. I try to help them whether they want to learn the podcast and stuff, whether they want to learn how to do Photoshop thumbnails. I do a lot of stuff, and I actually do like ads for people for free. You know, my homeboys come to me and I know they don't have the access to like a high level professional editor. I do like ads and thumbnails for free. I'm like, I got you. You don't even got to pay me because I know what it feels like to be at the bottom in a situation and you looking up at these people and you like, dang, I wish I could have a raw ad like that, a raw thumbnail, a raw something. And that's why I get enjoyment in doing it and not being a gatekeeper and helping all the people who, who don't have the access and who don't know how to use the tools that I know how to, the tools I know how to use. So I get real enjoyment out of helping people with that, bro. But that's crazy that you went through that, bro. And he doubled back, they came back around. It always come back around for you, boy.
Yeah, right. And here's the thing, man. What's so funny is because like, first of all, I did sales for a long time, bro. 6 years I did sales. I love rejection. And when you have a sports background and you have a competitive spirit, like, man, I am a competitor to the highest level, dog. Right. So any rejection that I get is actually energy. That's fuel for me. I would take all the no's. I would take all the get out my face. I would take all the you not good enoughs and I turn it into fuel, bro. And guess what, man, it don't make me do anything but focus more. That's why I never get discouraged when people turn me down. You see what I'm saying? Because what I know about myself, bro, I'm going to take over anyway. That's the crazy part. Like, I know I'm going to take it over. And when I put together my battle plan, I'm knocking at your door and I'm coming to take your stuff. You see what I'm saying? So really, when I'm reaching out to people, I'm not reaching out to them because I feel like they better than me. I feel like I like through people's content, I feel like we have alignment. I don't just be putting it out there to anybody. Because I'm not the type of friendly dude that get along with everybody. If I reach out, it's because I see alignment. You feel what I'm saying? Now, again, your content should be an extension of you. There's a lot of people who put out content right now, and they're not the same person that you see on video. I call it content catfishing. You feel what I'm saying? It's content catfishing. So, like, when you see me in my videos and you meet me in person, I'm going to be the same person. You feel? And that's how it should be. So when I reach out to people because I feel aligned through content and they in a higher position than me and they diss me, I actually love it because it's either one, you're gonna come back around and you're gonna ask me to be on your podcast like that's what happened, right? Two, I'm coming to your castle and I'm taking everything because you really don't want me in the same space as you competing with you. Or three, anytime I come in the room, you're gonna put your head down. Because and that's the thing, man. Like, people, they got to stop using their position. They got to start helping people. Stop gatekeeping, and especially in the Black community, bro. You have a lot of people who use their position to push people down instead of pull them up. You see what I'm saying? And guess what, bro? That's who they've been their entire life. This ain't nothing new. Like, I guarantee you, bro. If I see you 5 years down the road and you doing good, you're not gonna use your position to kick people down. I can tell that about you. You're going to use your position to pull people up because guess what?
Everybody.
We both starting at the beginning. And we still trying to pull people up. We ain't even got nowhere yet. You see what I'm saying? So with me, I never let it discourage me because really I'd be like, I call my wife like, hey man, guess what this dude just told me? This is crazy. He don't even know, but your name on the list. You don't even know your name on the list. You see what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, and that's the thing, because like everybody, we want to make it, we want to be successful, we want to make it big, right? And the
Yeah,
reason why a lot of people want to go viral and they want to make it big is because they are trying to be a somebody to the somebodies. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to
that
be a
makes sense.
somebody to the somebodies. But guess what? You trying to be a somebody to the somebodies that cared about you when you was a nobody. You know what I mean? So the key is you need to be trying to be a somebody to the people that cared about you when you was a nobody, to the people that was in your corner with you when you was a nobody. And guess what? The whole crazy part about this, you was somebody anyway. But the question I ask myself is like, who am I somebody to? And the people that I'm a somebody to, that's who I'm rocking with. You see what I'm saying? I'm already a somebody, but who am I a somebody to? So if I'm a somebody to you, you a somebody to me. So hey, let's go get it. Let's get this money. Let's get this paper. Let's run this bag up because you can't please everybody. Everybody not gonna like you, and the people that you trying to impress really don't even care about you, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like they don't even
Yeah.
care about you. So you have to know that you're gonna make it regardless. But it's who I'm gonna make it with. That's the biggest question. I'm going anyway. Who coming with me? And if you're not coming with me, I'm cool with that, bro. Like, let's get it out the way early. You stay right there. I'm gonna take off. Peace and blessings.
Yeah, bro. My wife had to like tell me because I used to get my feelings hurt a lot, man. I used to be like, man, I want to bring everybody up with me. I want to help everybody. And I used to always project and put on them, hey, you should start a podcast. You should start a YouTube. And my wife said, Justin, man, you in this avenue that you going, you can't help everybody. She was like, man, I understand. And she's like, you telling all your friends to do this and you telling all your friends to start a podcast, but everybody, you can't help everybody. You can't pull everybody up with you. And that kind of hurt my feelings, bro, because I want to see everybody on the same level with the same type of bag. And that's just always how I've been. But like you said, with our community, bro, it's a lot of it's because I aim for the trauma, to try to help people. Like, but me and you kind of do the same thing. We both try to bring awareness to people. That's really what we doing.
Right.
How you be telling people, man, is, stop blaming your childhood and take accountability. It's really just bringing awareness, to take control of your life. So me and you do the same thing, kind of, but just in like different angles. But we both hitting on the same thing. That's why we kind of got similar traits with the same thing that we doing. But with our community, bro, especially in our culture, it's a lot of crabs in the bucket mentality. And I would say our culture has a lot of trauma, bro. And because even when I come at some of my friends, bro, about vulnerable stuff, they'll automatically get defensive. Like they ain't even on that. Because, in our community, vulnerability is just a big no-no. It's almost like it's against the law. So coming at them with this trauma thing and trying to help them to bring awareness, which I want to go to that video that you got millions of views on where you got tore alive.
Yeah.
I was looking at the comment section, bro. I was reading some of the comments, bro.
Hey, they light me up
They
in the
tore you
comments,
alive,
bro.
bro.
They
They
light
light
me
you
up.
up, bro. I
Yeah.
see it. I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, man, bro, going through it right now. I see you do the
Yeah.
follow-up video, letting people know, like, look, man, you was just really trying to.
Hmm.
Because see, it's all you was trying to do is bring awareness, and I understand the angle that you coming at, but
Yeah.
when you coming with people trauma, but when they get
Hmm.
triggered, and you triggering people the way you coming, that's typically how the response gonna be, and that's what I had to learn. Because when I first started off, bro, I didn't really know which avenue or which angle I wanted to go, but all I knew was I wanted to help people. I knew that in my heart, I want to
Yeah.
help. So I kind of came off the same way you was coming off, and I ain't gonna lie, I actually deleted a few videos of coming off on the people in certain ways because of the backlash I got, and I sat down to myself. I was like, well, what am I doing wrong, God? Because I got good in my heart, and I really want to help these people and bring awareness. So I kind of switched
Yeah.
my angle on how to come on with more love and compassion. And my whole thing is to try to plant the seed in a soft way,
Hmm.
because when you dealing with people, bro, especially with our community, bro, it's so much generational trauma and self-hate within our community that when you bringing stuff to their attention like this and with the crabs in the bucket mentality, it's going to be hard to penetrate them. It's hard to get through
Yeah.
to them. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, man,
And,
shout
and,
out to
and
you, bro. You doing your
and
thing.
I'm gonna be real with you. I did the same thing too. Like I deleted some videos. It was a video that had 30K that I deleted because I had the backlash. But my thing is this: like, if you a messenger, you stand on your message, right? People ain't gonna like it. Imagine, and I'm not saying we Jesus, but imagine just for like the scenario. Imagine if Jesus went to go preach something and teach something, some truth, and then he get negative backlash, and then he tell his disciples, "Hey, in the future, don't put that down in the Bible." The truth hurt, bro. You feel
Yeah,
what I'm
dude.
saying? And they not gonna like it. And guess what? Jesus came in with people with love and compassion, and you see where that got them. And so what I'm saying is, no matter what your angle is or how you want to spread the message, people aren't gonna like the message. You know what I mean? But I'm
I
gonna
see
I'm
that.
gonna
Yeah.
stand on I'm gonna stand on my message. And so like you see a lot of people, like for example, Gordon Ramsay, he an a-hole. He stand on his message, man. You see what I'm saying? And obviously it's how you deliver the message. But my whole point is whether what angle you take to deliver the message. And I don't think I have a harsh approach. I have a real approach. I'm not cussing anybody out. I'm not name calling or anything like that. I just speak it how I see it. And like I said, if you're an adult, and I'm talking about and that's the video I said, because and really I'm talking about my brother. I didn't want to put him out there like that, but I was talking about my older brother. So if you watch that entire podcast episode, I said my brother, but I cut it out in the clip. But my brother lost custody of his kids, and he was spiraling out of control. And he called my mom and started telling my mom it was her fault, that his life is to where it is and that he's failing and stuff like that. And my mom called me with a heavy heart. You
I
see what I'm
see.
saying? And
I
so
see.
here's the thing, man, like when it comes to this childhood trauma stuff, like adults have to stop blaming their parents for their adult failures. Once you are grown, and it's not fair, it really ain't fair. But guess what? Life ain't fair. You see what I'm saying? It's not fair because I know a bunch of people who in prison right now because they haven't healed from their childhood trauma, and then they go out there and they doing all these things like their actions are supposed to be excused because they have childhood trauma. No, bro, you're an adult. Prison is full of people who didn't heal from their childhood traumas. You see what I'm saying? And they still got held accountable as an adult. So even though it's not fair that you grew up that way, you're still accountable for your actions as an adult. And if you lose custody of your own kids, that's not your parents' fault. If you are smoking your life away and drinking your life away, that is not your parents' fault because it's up to you as an adult to heal your own trauma. And I have a podcast called the Champions Club Podcast where
Oh, you
I
got another
sit
one?
across from people. Yeah, I got another one. I drop episodes on YouTube every Friday. I don't promote it like that because I don't like editing it and putting out all the clips. But I promote episodes every Friday. I drop them every Friday. I sit across from people who talk about, man, I had to overcome my trauma and they became business owners. They speaking on stages. There are some people who had and they talk to me about this off camera, but some unspeakable things happened to them and they turned their trauma into power. So a lot of times, as childhood trauma victims, we grow up as adult and we're still playing that victim mentality, which is not okay. Because if you haven't healed from it, you always going to stay stuck. And I think that's the biggest reason why people cannot people cannot overcome their childhood trauma because they in the past, right? They dwelling on things that happened to them in the past. So they physically in the present, but they mentally in the past. So you
Yeah.
got you got to get over that and you go get therapy, go get help. And so the people that's lighting me up in the comments, bro, that's talking crazy to me. I told you, first of all, I didn't care. I did 1 million views. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Y'all not
sir.
doing anything but giving me a check while y'all trying to hurt my feelings. Every negative comment, I damn near hit a backflip, bro. And I was like, come on, man. I wish y'all turn up a little harder. But then that also exposed, like if you read the comments, the people were saying, all the people that's doing the negative comments, y'all proving his point. There's so many adults that has not taken accountability ever in their life. And guess what? Somebody who don't take accountability is not only for their childhood trauma, that's their life mentality. It's never their fault.
Yeah.
Anything that happened to them is never their own fault. And so a lot of times people are like, man, but everybody's trauma is different. Yes, but your mentality about accountability is not different. It's always been the same. You ain't never took accountability.
Yeah. Some people do fall in that victim mindset. And I always kind of I step back because I used to be a real judgmental person. I used to always be like, if I can do it, they can do it. And I realized that I was just projecting my strength on other people, which in this whole
Yeah.
process of me doing the podcasting thing, I was like, dang, I learned that everybody is not as strong as me. So everybody might not be, because bro, you have some people who commit suicide because of, trauma and pain and mental issues, and they can't handle that pain. And I used to even talk trash about that, but I felt like, like how could you do this? How could you leave your family behind and take your own life and be weak? And what I didn't realize in that moment is that I was projecting my strength, and I had to sit back and really reevaluate myself. Like, dang, God didn't make everybody as strong, like generals like me and you. And I had to think, I'm like, dang, that's why he put me in front of this mic to preach to people who are weaker than me, to help them give awareness, because they're not strong as me. So my words can help somebody stop them from, maybe jumping off a ledge or something. And I had to that's what helped me learn to have more compassion. When I realized that perspective, I was like, dang, all of these people I judged and talk trash about because I changed my life and what I've been through and was able to overcome it. Everybody not as strong as the next person, but and that's where it comes to the awareness. That's why I try to bring awareness and let people know, man, you can, in order for you to fix yourself, because, I used to tell people the same thing, fix yourself. Well, where do I start? How do I fix myself? Like you said, you can either go to a therapist, you can start doing your shadow work, you can journal. But you really have to go inward, because a lot of people do external things thinking that's going to fix them. They dress themselves up, go to the gym. No, you have to go inward and fix your heart. Your inner world will reflect your outer world. If you're an angry person in your heart, you're going to be angry and cussing out everybody around you. That's just that's how it works. So you got to fix that inner self. But then I asked myself, how can I help people, fix themselves? What process can they go by? Like you said, going to the therapist and one of your things. And people really have to deprogram. And they have to get to the root cause of what they've been through as a child. Because I always ask myself, I noticed, I was like, I wonder why all the rappers, like Lil Durk and all of them, why would they get $50 million and still be doing crime life? What's making them do that? Because you would think to yourself, you would be like, dang, the average person is going to get the money. They're going to want to move out of the hood, and they're going to want to get a better life. I thought that was the idea. But why are these people getting money and committing crimes and still doing the same old thing? Because they have to become aware and deprogram themselves. And that's where the self-sabotage comes in. Because if you don't fix yourself, you can build a business, but you're going to crash everything around you through that trauma. Yeah. And that's why you got to become aware, and you got to, like you said, take accountability and get out of that victim mindset and take that step forward to try to fix yourself in the first place. Because if you don't, you can win $10 million on the lottery. But if you a messed up person, you're going to screw up all of that money and sabotage it because you're not right, internally, which is going to reflect, externally.
Nah, bro, I agree. I agree with you. And I'm going to say this, man, shout out to you. And what's crazy is because you mentioned being a thought leader. You can tell exactly who the thought leaders is when you hear them speak. Yeah. I guarantee you, if you study a lot of thought leaders, they're actually learning and consuming more than they're actually speaking. Yep. Like they might see a lot of clips of me and you actually speaking, but that's perception. Like a lot of times I'm consuming. I'm actually not, like, a lot of my day, unless I'm talking to my wife, I don't actually talk much because I'm consuming. And the way that I hear you speaking about these things, about trauma and about rewiring your mindset, I can tell that you did a lot of consuming. And I'm gonna tell you this, bro. Accountability is such a huge thing, and I want to tell you this before I get into that. But like, you're exactly right, and I think first off, the greater the trauma, the greater the calling on your life. I believe that 100%, and that's why I'm glad that we have people like you behind the mic. We got people like me that make these podcasts, and we talk about the things that we've been through, because I get a lot in my comments where people would say, you need to shut the F up because you're not a therapist.
I see that.
So you're not trained to speak on this, but guess what, man, I might not be like clinically trained, but when it comes to this life stuff, we are trained to speak on this, bro. I am trained to speak on it. Well, what experience do you have? Life experience. Because they would say, because we're not therapists, we need to shut up. But these people don't actually go talk to a therapist. You see what I'm saying? And so me personally, I really don't want to go talk to a therapist. I want to talk to somebody that look like me, that I know that's been through what I've been through. And I can connect with that person. A lot of times when you put on that white coat, don't nobody want to talk to you. right? And so I love the fact that even when I heard you talking about you being abused by your stepdad, I don't even know you, but as a person that has been through physical abuse by my mom's boyfriend, that made me connected to you, not a therapist. A lot of and I'm not dissing therapists, but a lot of therapists out there, they actually haven't even been through what they're giving consultations about. You see what I'm saying?
Textbook
So
therapist.
exactly. So I'm like, bro, we got to start having more conversations. And that's the biggest problem is that a lot of people want you to shut up and they want you to be quiet. But no, bro, I went through my trauma. I'm trying to help people out there like me. So I'm not going to shut up. And when it comes to accountability, bro, I'm going to tell you exactly how I learned how to be accountable. When you talk about that hyper awareness and that self awareness, bro, first off, a lot of people don't know that my dad kicked me out at 19. So when I moved to Indiana, right after I graduated, my dad sent me a text saying, "You can't come home no more, son." And he's like, "I got all your things in your car, and you got to leave my house." I
Wow.
changed the locks. Yeah, I changed the locks on the door. You can never come home, son. So I come home, right, and my dad is in the car, he in the driver's seat, my sister's in the passenger seat, and he said, "Hey, man, have a good life." And my sister is crying.
What?
My little sister's crying. My dad pulled off. So now I'm stuck in a state. I don't know nobody. I only been living here for a year. I'm stuck in a state. I got no job, no money, no friends, no family, and everything I own is stuck in my broke down car. And I'm still sleeping in my car, which is in the complex of that apartment. Because I ain't got nowhere to stay. That's how I started off my adulthood. You feel what I'm saying?
Dang.
And so, like, I'm sitting here in this
Wow.
situation, and every single night, man, I was mad as hell at my dad. I was so fucking mad, bro. Like, man, how can you do this to me, man? I'm supposed to be your fucking son, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pissed, right? And then I remember I started reading the Bible. I was like, I ain't got nothing to do because I'm supposed to entertain myself. So, man, I got the little car light on. I'm reading this little Bible. It's one of those little baby Bibles. You feel me? One of the little joints.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm reading it and I'm reading the Bible, and I really, I don't, I think it was God, but I heard a voice in my head that said, because I was talking about my dad, and then I heard a voice say, "What did you do to put yourself in this situation?" And then I had to look at my situation, but then I had to backtrack. I said, you know what? First of all, my mom and my dad got divorced when I was 3. I always been bounced back and forth between my mom and my dad because then nobody want to stay with me because I was so bad. I even go with friends, and I live with my friends, and they parents would kick me out. I've been to 5 high schools in 4 years in 5 different states, bro, because I was so bad.
Wow.
I had to move, and so I had to sit here and I had to say like, yeah, your dad might have kicked you out, but bro, like you the common denominator in every situation. You see what I'm saying? In every situation,
Accountability.
you always get put out on your ass. You're the common denominator because everybody else doing their thing. Everybody else ain't sleeping in their car. You sleeping in your car. So I had to tell myself, listen, I don't care how I got here, whether my dad put me out or not. Like, yeah, that was wrong and what he did, but I don't care how I got here. I need to focus on how I'm gonna get out of this situation. At 19, that became my mindset. Then I end up going to the Salvation Army because I got to get some food. So now I'm at the soup kitchen and I'm sitting at this circle table with these homeless people, bro. Right? And
Yeah.
I talk to everybody. You see what I'm saying? So I sit at this table and I'm sitting here calling myself homeless because I'm sleeping in my car. And this dude is talking about how, he had to sleep on his bench and pee on himself at night to be warm. So that
Wow.
now my mindset shift to there's levels to homelessness. I'm saying I'm homeless, but these people are peeing on themselves to stay warm. But I'm saying I'm homeless because I'm sleeping in my broke down car. They actually have no shelter, bro. So that taught me, hey, bro, be appreciative for your struggle because your struggle is somebody else's dream. You feel what I'm saying?
Ooh,
Your struggle is somebody else's dream. I bet that dude
that's a
pissing on
bar.
himself at the park bench, dreaming he can at least have a broke down car to sleep in. So now I had to say, okay, if and guess what? When they was going around talking in that circle, everybody was talking about why they was homeless. Nobody said I am homeless because of me. You feel me? Nobody, bro. And it was always this person fault, that person fault, this person fault. And I was like, dang, I'm sitting back and I'm observing. I'm like, who gonna say they did it? Because everybody that y'all blaming got a home. They ain't homeless, right? So check this out. Another situation happened. This happened before my dad actually kicked me out. I think this was the last straw. I ended up getting arrested for nothing crazy. I got a BB gun. I got arrested and stuff. And I'm sitting in this holding cell, right? And so I'm sitting in there, and I have never even been arrested before, thrown into any kind of cell. So this is a news flash for me. Like this is a culture shock, right? Like I'm scared. And I'm sitting in there. The first thing that I realized when I got in there is that I didn't belong there. Mentally, I'm like, man, it's people that's 30, 40, 50 that sound like idiots, but I'm like, I'm smarter than all these dudes. But then here come the ego check. No, you're not, because you're in the same room with them. Stupid. You can't be
That,
smarter
but
than
that's
them.
but that's having self-awareness. You've always had self-awareness. Even how you were studying the homeless people, and you did the
Yeah.
comparison. Hey, it's levels to. I see you always had self-awareness, which is not normal.
Mhm.
So you always had the leadership qualities inside of you, because how you
Yeah.
explaining it and because people don't break it down in their mind like that. That's not normal.
Mhm.
But keep going. I just want to point that out.
Nah, I appreciate this because I play football, bro. I watched a lot of film. You see what I'm saying? I watched a lot of film, so I got that conditioned me to study myself, study my actions. Sometimes you have to study how you study, but we'll talk about that in a different conversation. But like I'm sitting in this holding cell, right? And everybody that came in there, I'm in that mud for 16 hours. And you know how they going around just like the movies. Hey, bro, what you in for? What you in for? What you in for? Nobody said I'm in here because of me. It was everybody else's fault. It was the white man's fault. I heard somebody blame the baby mama. I heard somebody blame the judge, right? And I'm like, dang, bro. And these people are 30, 40, 50s. I'm like, dang, bro. So I learned this is what happens when you don't take accountability. The lack of self accountability is the downfall of everybody because we can't help what happened to us, but we can't help how we respond to it, right? And so like that's really the question that everybody got to ask themselves. If you don't like where you at in your life, ask yourself how you gonna respond to it. Because if you like you said, you got that general in you, you got that dog in you. Hey man, first of all, how can I learn from this problem? Because I turn my losses into lessons, right? And then I'm sitting back like, how can I make money off this problem? I'm about making the paper. So even though I've been through a hard life, my story is now getting me paid, bro. I go speak. I do speaking engagements. I teach classes. I do podcasts. I create content. Every problem is really an opportunity to make some money. We just got to change how we see it.
Perspective.
Perspective. That's the diff. Like, for example, I lie to you not. Like, if you have a phone, to some people, a phone is just a phone, right? And so it's just a communication device, and it's just an entertainment device. They just scrolling and they get brain rot, they go stupid. But that's their perspective of what that phone is. If you give a phone to somebody like me, I'm about to make that thing work, bro. I'm about to flip that phone. That phone is a communication device, it's time management device, it's a video production device. It's the person behind the tool that makes the tool powerful. So it's like when you look at people and they say like, hey man, it's so crazy because if I had all of that, if I had all the money, if I had the video equipment, I'd be doing that too. No, you wouldn't, because you're not even doing more with what you got. So
You
I
can
look
do
at it
everything
like,
with a
man,
phone.
take everything. I run a podcast right now off a phone. I'm doing a
You don't
video
even need all
call.
this. You don't need the equipment. You don't need
Right.
none of it.
We don't need none of it. So bro, I'm saying all this to say this. I learned at a young age to take accountability. I learned at a young age to change my perspective. And if you can take accountability and you can change your perspective, you will see the world differently. You're going to see opportunities differently. And that's the difference between people who stand where they at and people that's elevating. You see what I'm saying? We all got put on this planet. We don't know how much time we have. But I guarantee you that right now I'm 27. I'm not going to be in the same situation when I'm 37. I'm just not.
You got a mindset of like a 500-year-old man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm 37, and you seem like you older than me, bro. For real, you got a lot of wisdom in you, bro. For real, man. But it's crazy how when you talk about what you've been through, but I never would have expected that. I'm not gonna lie, how you present yourself. You know, you saying you was a bad kid and you got kicked out and from house to house. I never would have guessed that, bro,
Yeah.
on how you present yourself and how you carry yourself. Because honestly, even though I got abused the way I did, from what I'm
Hmm.
noticing, talking to a lot of people on this podcast and just and seeing lot of different views, you know, my situation wasn't as bad as I thought it was, bro. Because I grew up in a nice big house. I grew up in a nice big 4-bedroom house. And a lot of my homeboys, they was homeless. They was getting beat up. And I'm like, at least when I got abused, bro, I was in a nice big house. I had a nice Christmas presents under the tree when Christmas came. You know, even though my stepdad did little things in comparison, because he caused me a lot of rejection and have a lot of anger and make me go out into the world and do a lot of the things I did, man, looking for, you know, looking for acceptance from my peers. Because and he basically destroyed my self-esteem, bro. I to this day, I have no self-esteem. Even though it seems like that, I still work on my confidence because he took that away from me, bro. He would make sure to let me know I was nothing. You know, he would pull me to the side. He would buy my sister's new Jordans, his kids, you know, and I would be wearing Kmart shoes. And he would come pull me to the side and be like, man, you see the shoes they got? Man, they shoes better than yours, man. And he will always compare and let me know how much better my sisters was than me. So I just went out in life just thinking and my self-esteem was never there. Even when girls would like me in school, I would be like, they like me? I'm nothing. This is what my stepdad always tell me. I'm nothing. They actually like me? So he like brainwashed that in my brain, bro, of so much rejection and with no self-esteem, bro. To this day, I'm trying to fix that and correct myself, bro, because he, on top of the abuse, he had powerful mental games he used to play with me and just make me feel, you see what your sisters got, man? He bought, man, my sisters dropped out of school in the 9th grade. He went and bought them a brand new car off the lot like the next day. It didn't even matter what they did. As long as he could make them look better than me, he was going to do it. Hey, look, man, they got a new car, man. You ain't got no new car. So he always compared to make me feel low. So I always felt low my entire life. Like I said, as I'm speaking to you now, it may seem like it, but I have no self-esteem, bro. He beat it out of me physically and mentally. And I'm still working to, you know, get it back and build myself back, but through the self-awareness. And that's another thing I want to get into because the self-awareness is the key. Like I said, through all of your situations, how you able to look at it, dissect it, and have that brain to be able to do that, that's not normal. Because a lot of people don't. That's bro. You've had hyper awareness, bro, for a long time. That's real leadership qualities and traits. Because my wife would always tell me, you know, I would get in the bro. About 4 years ago, my wife was about to divorce me. You know, I would get in arguments with her like 10 times a day. I would get in arguments with the kids. I used to walk around angry all the time. I didn't even know I was carrying my stepdad's anger. I didn't even know I was carrying the rejection. So I always look for every opportunity to spat out, to be angry. And she used to always tell me, man, you acting like your stepdad. And I would get so enraged because I'm like, I'm not my stepdad. I'm not abusing none of y'all. Not thinking that my mental abuse was even doing it because I was comparing the trauma. I'm like, I'm not abusing y'all like physically like my stepdad did me. So all of this mental stuff I'm saying, it ain't doing nothing to y'all. Not realizing it was even worse than what the physical abuse did. But when my wife was about to divorce me, bro, before she was about to divorce me, I was not even aware that I was this nasty, cruel guy. And I know that may sound crazy, as aware as I am. I really thought with my ego that I had built up some fake character, that I was this great dude with false self-esteem, with a false identity, that I was some great dude. And my wife, you know, like I used to tell her, man, you the luckiest girl in the world to get with somebody like me. Not even realizing I was this screwed up and self-centered and on some narcissist type of stuff. But when she was about to divorce me, it really made me sit down and like self-reflect, like, who am I? Like, why do I do all of this? Why am I cussing you out 10 times a day? Why am I waiting for you to come through the door after a long day of work just to argue with you? So she really made me, because I'm like, bro, I'm not finna lose my family. Like, because I see a lot of guys talk about how it's so hard out there in the streets and they can't find a woman and there's scarcity out there. And me, I having that hyper awareness, I'm not a stupid guy. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not finna go out with my ego and play that role like I can find another girl, a woman that's gonna take care of me as good as she doing. So it really made me dig in and do my inner work, my shadow work, to figure out, you know, where did I learn all of this stuff from? You know, I would cuss my son out, do the dishes aggressively, and one day my son was like, well, why do you say it like that? Why do you have to aggressively demean me just to say do the dishes? And I couldn't answer the question. I was like, you know, well, my elders, you know, I always believed in respect through my elders. And he was like, which one of your elders taught you that? And I was like, I thought about it. I was like, well, my mom didn't teach me that. I was like, my aunties and my uncles didn't teach me that. I was like, my stepdad used to do this to me and talk to me this. So I'm like, wow, I'm actually the dude I disliked the most growing up. I'm doing what he did. And but I wasn't even aware. I wasn't even aware that I was doing the same things that he was doing. And I almost lost my whole family over it. But when my wife was about to divorce me, bro, I cried on the floor for a week straight in the fetal position like a baby. I remember my kids coming to me and they was just like, because they had never, because I walked around so tough with a tough ego exterior. But my kids was coming to me before school and they was looking at me on the ground crying in the fetal position for like a week. They was like, Mom, what's wrong with him? And my wife was like, don't involve the kids in this. Don't tell them what's going on. You know, don't. But I couldn't help it because I'm real emotional, you know, because I didn't get the emotional nurturance that I needed as a kid growing up in my household. So it made me really emotionally needy, which is why I love my wife, because she knows how to help me and cater to my emotions to make me be a better person. So when my kids see me like that, you know, I couldn't help it. I told them, I said, man, y'all mom want to leave me, man. I don't know what to do. I cried for a week straight because I did not want to lose my family and I ain't want to experience what everybody be talking about on the streets, that it ain't nothing good out there. I didn't want to see. My ego was smart enough to let me know that I didn't want to go that far. So I fought and I started to really evaluate all of my actions. Why do I say this? Why do I do that? What did I learn this from? This belief. But I question everything. But that's what people have to do. The first step is becoming aware, because people may not even know that they nasty and cruel and doing the things that they do. Because, bro, I really didn't know it, bro. I was blinded by it. While I was being nasty, I thought I was some great white knight and I was the greatest guy. You hit the lottery by being with me. This is me. So I didn't know it. And that's why I come on this podcast and I know, because like you said, you lived it through your experiences, man, awareness is key. It's just me and you doing the same thing. It's just how we delivering it, man. But people don't really know they are the way they are, and people can't really explain because they don't have that hyper awareness like me and you to be able to go through a situation and to break it down and do comparisons. Well, if this is like this, I can do this. And how you said with the homeless guy, well, he sleep on a bed. Well, my homelessness is better than his. Like people don't know how to do that. It's like you almost got to rewire your brain to even think in that way, especially if you grow up a certain way your whole childhood, because you have some people grow up around cutthroat family members. You got dudes, you know, your uncle can be teaching you to be cutthroat, man. Forget him, man. He ain't better than you, man. You should go take his girlfriend. So you got relatives that can be teaching you bad habits as you growing up. And these people that you look up to, so you adopt their beliefs and you use them throughout life. Backstabbing your homeboys, trying to get your homeboy girl. Because I had one of my homeboys backstab me like that. And I asked myself, I'm like, does this guy even really know he backstabbed me? Because he tried to talk to me after the fact. And he probably like, bro, why you cut me off? Bro, you a backstabber. You a backstabber, bro. And he like, bro, what do you mean? I love you. We still cool. I'm like, no, we're not, bro. And that's why I say people grow up in savage environments and they adopt these beliefs from savage people that they look up to, and they don't even know that they operating in a savage. That's why you got to deprogram yourself. Like I was going back to the rappers. They get 50 million and they want to go to war and buy guns and do crazy stuff because they not deprogrammed. They don't know any better. But like I said, the key is that awareness. But that's why God ordained people like me and you, bro, with that generalship, you know, to be able to take stuff and being a thought leader, you know, to be able to take a situation and make and tell the story of that situation and to give people the lesson out of that situation, which could help open people's eyes and make the story and the message more digestible for people who don't have that awareness. So, and that's what I understand. Go ahead.
Well, I would say, yeah, that's exactly what a thought leader do. And I just want to say, it's like, man, there's so many people. In my opinion, there's not enough thought leaders, because if the more thought leaders there are, the more people can be helped, because people are going to be able to make it digestible for other people. There's some people that I'm not going to reach. There's some people that you're not going to reach, but another person going on that journey, becoming a thought leader, stepping up and making something digestible for other people to understand, more people can be helped. And I want to say this too, man, like, you know, I'm going to send a compliment right back to you, because the way that you carry yourself, you don't come off as a traumatized person. And I think that's the biggest compliment. Like, if you, like, again, going back to those comments, when people comment saying, shut up, man, you ain't been through nothing. What you ever been through? That's actually the biggest compliment to me, because that let me know I'm a traumatized person that don't act traumatized. that's they trying to diss me, but that's actually a compliment to my work. Hey, bro, thank
That
you,
is, bro.
because I've
That
been through
is.
so much. But you telling me I ain't been through nothing? Hey, God is good, bro. I can't even take the credit. Hey, God is good, bro. What you talking?
Bro,
And because
you would have
of that,
fooled me, boy, because I sure would have never believed you went through nothing, bro. How you carry yourself,
yeah,
bro.
man, because my thing is, and I thank God I got it out the way early. I went on a journey early, so now that I'm in my 20s, I wasn't being affected for the rest of my life, and that's the thing too. It's like same thing with you. Again, I didn't get abused with my stepdad, but my mom had this boyfriend, and this dude, he would beat the brakes off me, man, as a kid. A lot of people don't know that, like, man, I lived and grew up in physical abuse. So to put it in perspective, like when I was in kindergarten, bro, I tried to ask while I was at school, I tried to jump out the window and kill myself. People don't know that.
Wow.
You feel what I'm saying? A
Man.
kindergarten, bro. I ain't studied kindergarten because I went home and then I got physically abused by my older brother, right? Then my mom's boyfriend would beat me up. Then I would go to school and I would get beat up. So in that situation, bro, it was this kid.
Dang, bro, you had it hard.
Yeah, and that's like people don't understand that because they see where I'm at now, right? And people see the destination, they don't see the journey. I got beat up every day. I'm not even procrastinating, bro. Every day somebody was putting their hands on me, and I never fought back. So the same way that you said that he like verbally and mentally abused the confidence out of you, bro. People beat the confidence out of me. They beat the bravery out of me. Like I felt like I was nothing on this earth, bro. You know what I mean? And so I went through that for years. And, I had to watch my mom get beat. And so, like, because I was at
Wow.
school and, I'll be lashing out in school and acting out as a kid that has an unstable household, right? And they would suspend me. So when I was suspended, one time I was suspended, bro, and I was at home and I hear my mom like screaming for her life, and I know that dude was beating the brakes off of her, man. She was screaming. I'm talking. I'm hearing glass breaking, walls, everything moving around, and she's screaming like "Help me!" All that kind of stuff. And I was in my room, bro, and I just sat against my door and I covered my ears, man. I did not come out the room, and during that time when that was happening, at that moment, bro, I felt like a coward. I didn't know what that feeling was. I didn't know what it was called, but I felt like a coward as a kid. So the next time that happened, I came out the room and I tried to help my mom while this dude was beating the mess out of her. I jumped on his back, started hitting him. Man, this dude picked me up because this man, he was in prison before, so he already do big. He said, bro, you like 6'6", 6'8". Man, he picked me up and slammed me so hard, bro. I think I went unconscious, dog. Like I just remember, like I couldn't move. I'm on the ground, like you see what I'm saying. And this stuff I had to go through, and years of physical abuse. When I started, I remember, it was this dude in high school, and he took my phone, right? So this is now I'm in 10th grade. So he took my phone, and then I told him, give me my phone back. He's like, man, shut up, bro. I beat your ass. So I'm new at this school too. Don't nobody even know me. Man, I look over at the teacher for help. The teacher put his head down and kept writing. You feel what I'm saying? So that let me know, bro, ain't nobody coming to save you. And I went to my room was in my basement. So I went to my room when I got home. And I just remember I said, man, all these years, man, people been putting their hands on you and you ain't never fought back. You ain't never. I got so tired of feeling like a bitch. I don't know if I can say on this podcast, but that's me being real. That's how I felt. I felt like a punk ass bitch, and I got tired. And I said, you know what, man? I promised myself in that room, man, I'd rather die than let somebody disrespect me. If you look at me wrong, we fighting. Talk about you gonna put your hands on me, we fighting. And I went to school that day, and I brought the problems to the bully. Hey, bro, we about to fight. I beat the brakes off this dude. And the whole time it hadn't even been in my mind. But bro, I was working out 4 times a day because I played football. I had so much anger and aggression in me that the gym was my outlet. So I would wake up before school, I hit the gym. Then at 6 a.m. before school workouts for football, I ride my bike to school and I do my before school workouts, right? Then I'm working out. So I'm working out after school for football. Then I got so much on my mind, I'm not even going to sleep, but I'm going back to the gym. So I was doing that for years, but I was so beat down mentally and had no low. I had so much low self esteem. I didn't even know what I was. So when I fought that dude in the classroom, bro, my shirt got ripped, and there was a mirror in that classroom, and I looked in the mirror and I seen what I was. I was like, man, I look like that, and everybody been putting their hands on me. That ain't never happening again. Man, I went crazy, and it felt good. Here's the downside to that. All that rage and aggression. First off, people, they kept, like, I'm from Cleveland. That's where I'm from. I'm from Cleveland. In the hood, everybody want the tough guy mantle, right? I'm not tough now, and I was never trying to be tough. That wasn't my goal. My goal was to be left alone. You see what I'm saying? But every time I beat the brakes off somebody, and invited a new challenger. So I really wanted not to fight, but I'm fighting more than I ever fought in my life, right? And so it's like, man, I went from being abused to now I'm fighting every single day. Like, I will be walking down the street, right? And it'll be somebody that's on the same path as me. I'm not moving, bro, you moving. I'm not about to step to the side. I bump shoulders with somebody. We banging it out right down. Like, man, we about to get it in. That's how crazy it was. And guess what? Everybody was walking around like that. And this is where I started to realize that I was actually becoming crazy. So I got, it was this dude who told me, he was like, man, you beat up my cousin, whatever. So when I catch you, I'm going to do something to you. Again, I grew up being physically abused. I take every threat as a cold red. You tell me you going to do something, I'm going to believe you. I'm a small fella. You see what I'm saying? I had a little muscle on me, but I'm still a small fella. So I was like, all right, shoot. One day he gonna go to the bathroom when I gotta go to the bathroom. And when that day happened, it's popping. I didn't know it was gonna be the next period. Hey, I get a pad. I'm like, hey, let me go. Can I go to the bathroom, please? She let me to the bathroom. Bro was in the bathroom. He taking a piss. Hey, man, I'm right behind him. Hey, bro, we about to fight. He gets scared and he zipped it up. Boom, we getting at it, right? So we go to the principal office, and the principal was like, man, I don't know what to do with you. You fighting all the time. And they told me, because on the camera, you just see me walking into the bathroom. It looked like I went in there for him. I didn't know he was in there. And he said, and I beat this dude up so bad, bro. And the principal was like, why did you do that to him? You think you tough? I said, nah, bro. I did that to him because he scared me. He's like, what you mean? I was like, well, he scared me so bad that, like, I had to go get him because he scared me. He said, oh, yeah, bro, you crazy. We got to get you up out of here. You can't go to school. If this is what you're doing to people when you scare, I'm like, no, bro, I'm not tough. I was really scared. He told me that he threatened me. I found him, and that's when he said, yeah, we got to get you out of here. And to me, I was being so for real. I said, man, I'm not tough. I'm very scared. Growing up with all that physical abuse, like, I have to be scared. You know what I mean? Because when my mama boyfriend told me, hey, man, I'm about to knock your eyes silly, he meant it. So any threat to me, I got to assume that these people not playing with me. And so this is where I started to realize, like, man, my trauma is getting out of control. Everything is getting out of control. But I had already created that reputation for myself. Everybody trying to fight me. And guess what? I'm not, like I said, I'm not tough. Man, some people was beating the brakes off me still. I'm getting jumped. You see what I'm saying? And so now it's like I'm always fighting. And my mom was like, man, somebody gonna kill you. And I didn't believe her until when I was going to school, people shooting at me. And so now I gotta move.
Shot at, bro?
Yeah, I'm talking about I'm on the way to school, doing my thing, and all I hear is, hey, whoop the whoop. I'm looking over, pop, 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 and they shooting at me. I'm running for my life. I get to school and I'm late, because I always showed up late. And I get to school, and my guidance counselor over here talking about, so, man, you always late, you sleeping in class, all this other stuff. You don't care about your future. I don't think you care about your life. What's your 5-year plan? Lady, I was like, and I bust out laughing, first of all, when she asked me, what's my 5-year plan? I bust out laughing. She said, I don't think this is funny. What's so funny? I said, lady, I just got fucking shot at on the way to school. I ain't got no fucking 5-year plan. I'm out here trying to survive in this motherfucker. I don't have a 5-year plan. I'm surprised. I'll be lucky if my mama don't have to bury me. I might not even make it back home. You see what I'm saying? And so I went through all of this, bro. But look at where I'm at now. I did the work.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? I did the work. So when people tell me, hey, bro, you ain't been through nothing, that's a compliment, man. I take it as a compliment. And guess what? Like when I really sit back, like you said, journaling, if you don't have nobody to talk to yourself. I write. I was writing my thoughts on paper before I ever spoke on a podcast. The stuff that I'm telling you now is in a notebook. You see what I'm saying? And so when I sit here and I look at everything that I've been through, my message to people is my kids don't have to go through that, because I also made another promise to myself. I'm going to break any kind of negative cycle that this Brooks bloodline have. So when it comes to childhood trauma, I'm putting up the Fred Sanfords. Hey, childhood trauma, we about to get it in, because I made another promise to myself. If I fear anything, I'm meeting the head on. Because I told you, I'm not about to walk around fearing anything or anybody, which means accountability, responsibility, anything. I'm not, like, scared is an emotion. Fear is in your heart. I'm not about to fear anything. If I fear it or them, I'm about to come see you, and we gonna handle it. So childhood trauma, man, let's get it in. You know, traumatic parenting, trauma parenting cycles, all that stuff. We about to get it in. And a lot of trauma that people don't talk about is this poverty cycle. People don't talk about the poverty cycle. How many generations are we gonna spend being broke, not giving our
Yeah.
kid a better? Hey, cycles. Hey, we about to get it in. My kid, like, bro, I'm gonna tell you this. My daughter just brought home her report card from kindergarten. She had a 4.0 GPA, A's and B's. To me,
Wonderful.
that is the biggest accomplishment. I tried to kill myself in kindergarten. My daughter is thriving in school. My daughter loves school. When I pull up to a school, it triggers my trauma. You feel what I'm saying? So,
Dang,
like,
bro.
I'm looking at this and I'm saying, bro, like, man,
Yeah, bro. I ain't,
yeah,
bro. You been through some stuff, boy. Wow. Hey, but because I'm not gonna lie to you, it sounds like you describing some of the things I went through. Because I ran away from home probably like 5 to 10 times in elementary school. You know, I was getting beat that bad. You know, I was trying in my mind. I used to tell myself I was just trying to get away from the devil. I remember when my mom got pregnant, bro, with my little sister in 1998, and I remember just going to my sister and I was like, man, how could she let the devil get her pregnant? And I'm saying this as a 10-year-old because I had already
mm,
ran away like 5 times already. Like I was trying to get away from this guy because I was like his personal UFC punching bag. So it sounds like me and you went through a lot of the same things, bro.
mhm,
I was getting choke slammed. He would pick me up in midair, slam my head into the drywall. I would wake up on the ground from being blacked out. He would punch me in the back of the head for eating my food too slow. He would just find any reason he can get off like real quick. He will, oh man, he'll tell me I'm walking like a girl, punch me in the back of the head. I'll wake up in the hallway, blacked out. Like, so anytime I came out my room, and it's crazy, bro, because I have a real anxiety problem. And it
mhm,
stems from my childhood trauma because anytime I would come out of my room door, I was coming out to a war zone. I don't know what was gonna happen. I don't know if I was gonna be waking up on the ground. I didn't know. So anytime he passed me, I would start shaking and my adrenaline
mhm,
would automatically start pumping. And because I didn't know what was gonna happen, I didn't know whether I was gonna wake up or not. You know, he would be cutting my hair with the
right,
clippers. Here, and I'm talking about the big old school clippers. He'll hit me in the back of the head with them. I'm nodding out while he cutting my hair. He will find any excuse, stop moving, any excuse for him to put his hands on me or to choke me out. He
mhm,
would do this. And so going through all of that, everything happens for a reason. And I notice all of the leaders, they seem to have a story like this to be able to pull from and to lead other people and to give them that awareness and let them
mhm,
know, man, because like you said, people talking trash, you ain't been through nothing. I can almost
right,
guarantee half of them people talking trash, they ain't been through half of what you've been through. I can bet that. Because I've been through a lot, bro, but getting shot at and all the stuff you talking about, fighting 100 times, you know,
yeah,
and it's a lot that you've been through that I
yeah,
haven't even been through, and a lot of my homeboys. So man, I can see where you coming from, bro, and it's just.
mhm.
But I'm glad to see you on the other side, man. You gonna have God gave us this strength for a
Accountability,
reason.
accountability got me to the other side. And this is why it's so huge, bro. Because when you take accountability for your actions, right? This is why it's so huge. A lot of people they don't want to blame themselves because they don't want to admit they was wrong. They don't want to admit that they effed up. But when you hold yourself accountable and you take accountability, it actually raises your level of understanding. The reason why people be like, man, how come you so self aware? Because I got a high level of self accountability. Every time you take accountability for your actions, it raises your level of understanding. So now you can see certain situations, but like, you know what? I've been through that before. I'm gonna sidestep that situation because I know if I go in that room while that dude in there, it ain't gonna be pretty. Let me remove myself. You see what I'm saying? So I don't have to go through the same situations. When you see a person that keep going through the same thing over and over and over, and then they get remixed just a little bit, and they go through the same thing over and over and over, they did not take accountability for their actions, bro. That's why you keep making the same mistakes. So until I got my anger under control, because man, I had such a temper problem. Until I got my anger out of control, under control, I only went to Walmart at 6 a.m. As soon as they open. I'm
What?
there because nobody else is there. And until I got my anger under control, I only like worked out at home. And then when I started to go to the gym, but I went to the gym in the morning because I live in a small town, ain't nobody there. I avoided people by all means until I can control myself. And
So
so
how did you learn
that
to
made a
control
conscious
it?
decision. You said what, bro?
How did you learn to control it? Like, what did you do? What steps did you go by? Was it just a self-awareness
Okay,
journaling? Like, what did you do?
man, it was God. I started going to church. I literally started going to church. I healed my anger issues because of Jesus Christ. That's why I ain't scared to say it, and I talk about it. When I went to a church again, and like my name is Selah, it's in the Bible. And I'm gonna tell you this real quick, and because it's gonna make more sense. But my dad went to prison at 18 for murder, right? And he was in there for 3 years. He's supposed to be facing life at 18. He prayed. He said, God, if you the person that you say that you are, get me the hell out of here. And he said the next morning they kicked his bunk, saying, Brooks, you're going home. He left the church. He left the prison, went to church, met my mom. They both got saved, everything got married. They had me, they named me Selah. So my mom said, man, she told me that God got favor over you. There's grace and mercy on your life, and God got a calling for you. And anytime I felt really lost in my life, I would go to church, and I would go to a random church. And this happened to me 3 times. I go to Google Maps, I pick a church, and I say, you know what? If I don't like this one, I'm gonna go to a different one next week. And every time I sit down, I never left. You see, I was there for years, and this happened when I'm moving from different states. So I sit in this church, and this guy had a message about. The message was about like controlling yourself. You know what I mean? And how people blame God. Man, God did this. And, this is the reason why that happened is God. And he said, no, it's actually you. You think God punishing you, but these are actually the consequences of your actions. It ain't got nothing to do with God. And I was like, dang, bro. And I felt hit, and I stayed. And then, so I started going to church. I kept going and then you can ask my wife. She came to church with me every Sunday because I would mess up every week. I would blow up on somebody every week. I almost got into a fight every week. I would have these incidences where it never led to me like physical violence, but it got close. And every single
Yeah.
week, this dude would have a message about what I just went through.
Wow.
Every Sunday, my wife was there the whole time because I said, hey, this is crazy. I need you to come because I don't want you to think I'm crazy. This dude keep talking to me, and I don't even know the pastor like that. And so she's like, no, that ain't real. I'm like, I'm dead serious. That's what he talked about. And every single week she was sitting there. She was like, yeah, I ain't never seen. And my wife, she's not the biggest believer. This made my wife start believing in God more because she see it. Right. And so I literally was like, okay, if I know that this pastor is going to talk about what I've been through this week, maybe I should not do it. So now I started avoiding certain things. So when I went to church and he would talk about it, I felt like I passed. Yeah, I made it. Right. Instead of going there with a heavy heart, thinking like, man, I done failed the
Yeah.
test again. Then I
Yeah.
started reading. This is why, like, you gotta, the first thing is make the decision, but your habits are still your habits. This is why decisions don't stick because you don't intake new information. So
Deprogram.
the very first book that I started reading, which actually wasn't a book, it was an audio book. It's called The Neuropsychology of Self-Discipline. I keep exploding on people wanting to knock their effing head off. That means I don't have a self-discipline. I have a self-discipline problem. I read the Neuropsychology of Self-Discipline. It's an audio book. It's a free audio book on YouTube. And I started reading that, and I love the information from it. The next book that I ended up reading was The 48 Laws of Power because I wanted to feel empowered. And I
I
didn't even know
read
what the
that.
book was about. I just knew that I had low self-esteem. I wanted to feel empowered. This is how everything started to change for me because I realized that I can transfer from a physical threat to a strategic threat. I don't even got to put my hands on people. I've been smart. My granddad taught me how to play chess at 9. You see what I'm saying? And my granddad, when people say you so wise, it's because I kicked it with my grandpops who gave me wisdom all these years. So I realized, okay, I got a problem with my boss. I want to beat the brakes off my boss. I don't even have to do that because in that book, it was something about how it was. This is actually probably the 50th law of power between the 48 laws of power, the 50th law of power. But if somebody does something to you and you react to them, they have control over you, right? So now if I want to take back my power, how can I make people react to what I do? So this is actually what's called a power move. And my granddad taught me this at 9. So I was playing chess and he was moving pieces and I was always reacting to what he did. And he got mad and he yelled at me. He's like, hey, man, what you doing? I'm like, dang. He's like, how come you're not making your moves? How come you only reacting to what I do? And he said, and I told him, I was like, because I'm scared. I don't know what to do. He said, man, let me tell you something. He said, life is like a game of chess. I'm about to cook. He said, life is like a game of chess. And he said that he was like, never react to what other people do. Because once you react to what other people do, he was like, they take away your power. They take control over the board. And then he said that, they basically got power over you. Right. And so and it makes you abandon your strategy. So what you need to do is you need to make what's called a power move. Now you got to react to what I do. You got to make a move so impactful that people switch their game. So they're going to abandon their strategy. You control the board. And now, they're going to react to what you do. So in that job, instead of me like hating my boss and being all mad, because he used to make me clean up mouse poop, bro, at the job. It was a white man. He used to whistle at me. So I'm still on probation too.
I see this story. I watched this video where you talked about this. I watched the video. Go ahead and tell it again. I like it.
Yeah. So I was at work and this white man would be whistling at me. He made me clean up the mouse poop. He used to get me in trouble all the time. And I'm on probation, bro. I know if I put my hands on him, I'm going away. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there and I'm taking this. And I started reading books and I had to realize, I'm like, okay, if he does something and he see that I get mad and I react to him, he has power over me. So what I need to do is I need to make a mental strategic power move. I actually started playing up to his ego. Hey, man, what's up, Alex? How you doing, man? Good morning, bro. We're going to have a good day today, right? And it blew him back. I was just like, let me try something different. Let me try this and see if it worked. Good morning, man. Yo, how's the family? How's the kids? Hey, listen, man, you know what? I respect you. You're going to be next to the CEO one day. I did that every single day. Now, he didn't know I was trying to keep him off my back because I was looking for another job. And when I was about to quit, I was going to beat the brakes off of him. He ain't know. But I came in every single day smiling, all this other stuff. And he was so confused by it. But eventually, I stopped cleaning up the mouse poop. He's like, hey, man, take a 45-minute lunch break today. You see what I'm saying? I got him off my back because I didn't respond to him. He responded to me. So I didn't have to be a physical threat. I became a strategic threat. And my granddad told me, he said, and he sat me down. He said, hey, man, because I got in a fight in school. I was getting in fights. My mom used to send me over there on the weekends. And he said, I heard you keep fighting. I was like, yeah. He said, all right, let me ask you something. Who's more dangerous, a physical threat or a strategic threat? It's like a physical threat. He said, no, they stupid. That's only when if you a strategic threat, people will stay up at night thinking about what you're thinking about doing to them. That is what he told me. So you don't have to put your hands on people. Yeah, you don't have to put your hands on people. So I started going through these things. I started learning this, bro. I started applying it. And it's like every season of my life is a lesson. And my job is like, what is the lesson? I got to figure out what it is. And once you take self-accountability and you learn these key lessons from your trauma through hard times, now you really know how to move out here. I don't have to, my wife didn't let me go anywhere alone, ever. I used to be walking in Walmart and I'll be wondering, like, because my wife would be holding me tight. I'm like, man, she love me, shoot. My wife love me. She be having hold my arm tight. Nah, dummy. Your wife was scared of you crashing out. So she would hold me tight when I went to Walmart like that. It wasn't because she loved me. It's because she like, I need to keep him close so he don't go snapping on nobody. So I say all that to say, like, man, when you take accountability, you change your perspective, you start intaking different things, you would change your life. So any adult, that's why I don't want to hear when it comes to these people blaming their parents still and blaming their childhood trauma. Bro, you have to do the work. But the problem is it's easier to blame than to read a book.
You're a strong individual, though. I ain't gonna lie, to come up out of everything that you came up out of and then go through what you went through, bro. Not a lot of people are not going to come out on the other side of what you've been through, because how you present yourself, not a lot of people are going to make it to the other side, man. And another thing I want to talk about is the when people going to church, because I had a lot of my homeboys, they always tell me, I'm gonna put it in God's hand, and I kind of felt like they was using that as a crutch and not taking accountability to fix themselves. Because I had a lot of homeboys, they would tell me, they would be like, well, man, you using the trauma as a crutch. I'm not using the trauma as a crutch. I'm using the trauma to tell stories to make people become aware so I can plant seeds. But I'm not using it as a crutch, because the trauma thing, I'm really just trying to bring accountability so people, like you said, people can see what they do, become aware of it, and fix it. And I would argue with a few of my homeboys about this, because they don't believe in the trauma thing. Like I said, because when you come in our culture, in the Black community, and you bring up vulnerability, boy, you almost better be ready to fight. Because even when I bring it up to my homeboys, they push back so hard. They're like, no, man, I ain't got no trauma. I ain't got no hurt. What you talking about? Like they don't even want to admit it. So they don't even want to become aware of it. They don't want to talk about it. So, and I understand, because, with Black people in the culture, a lot of Black people already know, like, we the most disliked race in the world. You can go to France, you can go to Germany, you can go to Australia. It don't matter where you go. You go to Iceland and they be like, who the most disliked race? It's going to be us. And a lot of Black people are aware of that, which I think with the generational trauma, when we all know that we have that much rejection, it creates self-hate within the community. And within that self-hate, they build like a big exterior, like cover up, just to cover their heart, because they already know, like, just how much we are disliked in the world. And then which that seeps into the community and makes the people hate each other because they have self-hate. Like I said, you only reflect outside what's inside. And it comes to the generational trauma. But like I said, man, it's the whole thing. Like what me and you do is the awareness thing, and you may come at it a little bit more straightforward, generalship, man. Hey, listen, take the accountability, which I agree on. And I try to explain to people, man, when I talk to my homeboys, I'm like, because you can fall in the victim mindset easy. Like, and even my wife had to point something out to me. I used to be like, man, cause I used to think that even though the government, I used to talk like that and crazy, they against us, they holding us back. I used to be one of those guys, and my wife like, no, they're not. You can be successful and be anything you want to be. She's like, man, you in a victim mindset. And I'm like, and I didn't even know I was in a victim mindset, because I was so focused with a laser, and I had tunnel vision on one thing. I wasn't able to see the bigger picture. I'm like, nobody's stopping me. I'm like, man, you can get up, you can create this, you can do this, you can get on the phone and create your own business. You can do whatever you want to do, and nobody's going to come and say, hey, I don't like you. You can't do that. So I, even myself, with all of the things I've done and the awareness that I have, I still got caught in the victim mindset from time to time. And that's why I understand, man, with our community, it's a lot of victim mindset and self-hate that they have. And that's why I feel like they're the hardest to penetrate when you're trying to help them and bring that awareness to them. Because, a lot of my homeboys, man, I ain't got nothing wrong with me, bro. What you talking about? Get out of my face, man. I ain't on that. A lot of them don't want to accept and even acknowledge it.
It's because it ain't cool. It's because it ain't popular. It's because we ain't got the bag. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. And I think it's in the Bible. But if it's not, this is a fact for sure. Nobody is going to take advice or wisdom from a homeless person. But again, it's the perspective, right? Because yes, this person is homeless, but that don't mean he can't speak truth. And if you're self-aware, you can look at what somebody else is saying and apply it to yourself. You see what I'm saying? So, like, but for some reason, now let a homeless person give you a message and say, listen, man, you need to be a better father, be a better husband, be a better man, overcome your trauma. You can be like, man, shut up. Now let that person favorite rapper with the chains in the car, because for some reason we attach truth to success. You see what I'm saying? We attach the principles of how to get out of our situation to success. So really, it's like nobody's listening because they look at us and they think we on the same level, man. What you know? I ain't listening to you because you stay in the same apartment complex as me. This is why I believe that you have to be rich in your mind before you become rich in your pockets.
It's the inner world. You got to fix your inner world.
You got to fix your inner world. And guess what? I don't believe in luck. I believe in opportunity creation. So I'm gonna break this down to you. Opportunity creation. If somebody gets up off their couch, right, and they decide that they're gonna go for a run and they find a winning lottery ticket, were they lucky? No, because they made the decision to get up off their couch and go for a run. The same, you see what I'm saying? Like one time I found $20. I didn't find $20 sitting on my couch. I found $20 because I got up and said, you know what? Instead of driving to the store, I'm going to walk to the store. It's opportunity creation. And when I start talking, when they talk about like when it comes to being a thought leader, peep this game, bro. Check this out. Because here's the thing. I like when it comes to the law of attraction, right? When you talk about making it digestible, a lot of people understand the law of attraction. And the word attraction, the main word is action. So you have to put in the work to attract stuff to you. And in the Bible, it talks about faith without works is dead. You can pray all you want. God don't move unless you move. That's not luck. Right? And so attraction creates, but distractions destroy. So if I want attraction, I got to put in some action. So when people see that we got podcasts and we moving and we spreading this message, is because we did a lot of work that people didn't see, right? And we're like, bro, like I heard this quote from a podcast: intentional consistency leads to indirect opportunities, right?
You must be watching the same podcast as me. Oh my Equator?
Yeah.
Oh my Equator?
Yeah. Yeah. Omar. So he said intentional consistency. I watch Omar, bro. I took some of his classes. I take his classes. I've been watching Omar for 2 years now. And what I realize is that this conversation that we're having is an indirect opportunity. We could not share this message in our stories with these people if you didn't decide to go on your journey and I didn't decide to go on mine. And the crazy part, it sounded like we both made the decision around the same time when we didn't know each other.
Yeah,
things do not happen. Things don't happen by accident, right? Nope. And so, like, and the thing is, people have to realize, man, like, I believe that life is addition by subtraction. If you want something to come into your life, something has to leave. So you can't say that I want to be married, and then you still got the hoes around. If you want to be married, the hoes got to leave. If you want fitness to come into your life, junk food, trash food, bad food has to leave. If you want blessings to come in your life, disobedience and arrogance has to leave. So people, they want both. You telling me right now that you want to stay traumatized and come up out your situation? And even if you do have success and you didn't heal yourself, you're going to end up right back where you started.
You're going to self-sabotage. You're going to ruin everything.
Self-destruct. Just like you talked about with the rappers. There's a lot of rappers that got the bag and they self-destruct. There's a lot of athletes that got the bag and they self-destruct. You know how many athletes are broke right now because their spending habits, their behavior habits, drinking, drugs. Bro, if you want success while you're traumatized, you're on borrowed time.
Yeah, you are.
So I'm looking at this and I'm like, when people was like, man, you only 27? Damn, yeah, because I did the work since I was 19. And what's so crazy is because
you're at another level.
There's no destination to this journey, bro. It's self-improvement. And the best masters know they should always remain a student.
Do you watch Myron Golden?
I just started watching I've been watching Myron for like 3 years or 2 years.
He on another level.
Another level. And the fact that you know the people that I consume, you see what I'm saying? That lets me know that you've been doing the work.
Yeah.
And this is how you ask somebody, hey, I'm about to unpack this. If you want to know if somebody has healed from their childhood trauma, ask them about what they consume. How many books have you read? What kind of TV shows do you watch? What kind of music do you listen to? What kind of people do you talk to? Because all we are as a human being, we are what we consume.
Yeah. It's going to tell on you. Well, however you speak or talk, it's going to tell on you. And guess what, man? Sometimes you don't even have to speak before I know that I don't even need to be around you. I'll watch your actions. You see what I'm saying? I'll watch your actions because there's something called the Abu Arabian theory of communication. I also learned this while being homeless. Listening to a homeless man.
Ain't that crazy? Ibn Arabian's law of communication. It's a theory, and he talks about how he breaks up communication into different percentages. And I don't remember the exact percentage, but guess what? Physical, like your body language, is the highest percentage, right? Next becomes how you say your words. Then it becomes the words that you actually say. So, meaning that I could tell a lot about a person before they even open their mouth based off their body language, even subconsciously or consciously. The words that you actually say is the lowest percentage. So that matter. What that's saying is what you saying really don't mean shit. The words that you speak, and guess what? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because again, it's body language is the top percentage. The next one is how you actually say the words. The best way that I can unpack this for people and give the scenario, imagine being an artist, right? Singer, rapper, whatever, and you on stage, right? Now, some people, they gonna get hyped by your body language, right? Your energy is transferring through them. But
Yeah.
guess what? Now, after we get past the body language, now we're gonna listen to how you actually say the words. Then we
Yeah.
listen to the words that you actually say. This is exactly why you got rappers that can say the same exact thing as Lil Wayne said and it hit different.
Yeah.
You got to package it and put it together to communicate. And I'll be looking at this stuff and I'll be like, bro, the stuff that I'm telling you, I learned from a homeless man.
That's
Hair coming
powerful.
all out his ears, looking
A lot of people,
raggedy and stanky.
a lot of people don't have that humbleness. I noticed that, and they really do go off of the socioeconomic status of how they value your opinion. Like if you're not rich, I ain't really valuing. If you average than me, I'm not really valuing. And that comes from them not being humble. So you got to kind of be in a humble, but at the same time, you got to, like Omar El Khattori said, you have to be in a student mindset as well. When you a leader, a thought leader, you also have to be in a student mindset and constantly always be willing to learn. You know, like Myron Golden said, ABL, all about learning. Learning has to be fun for you, even when nobody is looking, because when those lights turn on and they start shining, you will get exposed if you preaching and you ain't practicing what you preaching. But my wife, but my wife always told me, bro, like when I first got cursed out in the comment section for how when I first started doing this, I came off, people going to the club at the late ages, you got trauma you need to heal. You don't need to be in the club. And I'm like, dang. And I got a lot of backlash from the videos I deleted. And so when I went to my wife, I'm like, man, like I said, I want to help people. What am I doing wrong? And she was like, you got to be careful on how you package these words with the deliverability. She was like, because your words can make somebody hurt themselves or jump off a ledge or either help them. So she said, you got to be real careful, Justin, before you get on this podcast. She was like, because you can lead a whole crowd of people astray and all of their blood will be on your hands. And that really scared me. I was like, and she was like, because people listening to anybody online, people just look for people to follow, especially when you get on a higher level and they see you got a high socioeconomic status, they'll follow you to the grave. If you tell them, hey, eat poop every day, man, this will help you get rich. They'll listen to you, bro. People will listen, bro. People will listen. True. So I had to really, with that thought leader thing, I think about what I'm gonna say, and I make sure it's not in a way that I'm gonna hurt people, man. Because I got this homeboy named Big Duke 13, man. And he remind me of you, bro. He a real humble guy. He got like 1 million followers on Facebook, like 2 million followers on one page, 1 million followers on another page, 700,000 followers on TikTok. So he real big in the game. Bro, this the most humble guy you probably will ever meet in your life that's already famous, bro. I'll text this man right now and he'll probably FaceTime me for an hour. I'm like, bro, I know you got to be busy, bro. What you want to talk about? This man's so humble. And I be asking him, I'm like, how you this humble? You get millions of views, millions of followers, and you just call me randomly and just want to talk. And I'm like, a lot of people are not like that. But Big Duke was telling me one day, man, he said when he was about to quit, when he had his 500,000 followers on TikTok before he started making money off social media, because he was making like up to 45K a month. And I was just mind blown. I'm like, wow. He quit his job. I'm like, bro, whoa. And you talking to little old me and you calling me for an hour and giving me game? And he's just so humble. He helps the smallest people. Oh, you got a little business? If you go on his page, bro, he's the humblest, biggest guy I've ever seen. He strives to help the smaller guy. This is like his motto, bro. It's his MO. So he was just telling me one day he had a guy tell him when he was about to quit before he started making money off social media. And he was like, God, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't even know if I'm still supposed to be doing this. And the guy had sent him the message and told him like, bro, I was about to commit suicide one morning and one of your videos made me laugh and I didn't commit suicide because of you. And he said that was his message from God to keep going. It was powerful because he do jokes and he said that was his message to keep going. And I was just like, wow, bro, it was just an unbelievable story. I even been talking to him in the inbox about getting on here with me. He was like, he got me. He ain't gonna charge me no money. He just be real busy, but I'm actually looking to have him on it. I've been talking to him about it, but you remind me of him, bro. I didn't even know you was a humble guy like the way you are, but having you, Duke, and then meeting you, because you wail in Indiana, bro. Like, it's like, I remember when you made the post on Facebook, because I've been talking to my wife about you, but my wife knows you, even though she never seen you. Well, I showed her the videos of you talking. And I remember when you made the post, you was like, man, I want to do a podcast, and I want to do a podcast in person. And I was like, dang, man, I would like to do a podcast with this guy, man, but I know he only wants to do it in person. So that's why I kind of started talking to you. Like, bro, you raw. You be making some raw punchlines of what I see. And I'm like, man, you may want to check out this, you want to check out this Riverside app because it gives you more reach, because with this giving you more reach, it'll give you more opportunity. Because somebody may see this video I'm doing with you and give you a call and be like, hey, I got 10,000 for you to come on my podcast. And that's just how it works. So you basically hitting it from every angle. You doing them in person. You doing them over the internet. So now you got worldwide reach. Somebody in Africa may see this. Everybody gonna see this. They can see it everywhere because you... And it's like, it just gives you more reach to do podcasts, in a bigger, wide variety, because I never thought that I would be doing this with you, bro. Like when I was in your inbox, I'm like, dude, because you said that you only want to do them in person. So when you inboxed me, I was like, wow, this is what Omar Ekatori said, when you intentional with your content. And now I got an indirect opportunity with Sayla. And I'm like, this is raw. I was happy. I'm like, wow, I'm seeing it unfolding with the action and the intention that I have behind it, bro. It's a beautiful thing, bro.
Well, that was crazy because with that post, dog, like I was like, and this is why I swear to God, man, I say this all the time, man, like God can't fix small thinking, because sometimes I am a victim of thinking small, and I'm glad that I got people like you that come around and be like, hey, I think you're looking at this a little wrong, right? Because I was like, you know what? Because I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I quit my job March of this year. And, I'm running my photo booth business full time. I'm trying to make content, and I'm trying to make it every single month. I don't know how I've been making it. It's May, almost June. I don't know how. Well, I know I've been making it. God been providing, but I was like, you know what? I just need to go do more podcasts. If my conversations is constantly doing millions, I just did another million yesterday. And it's like, if this is what's happening, maybe I should talk more. And the thing is, people would say, be careful what you pray for. What I tell people is, you got to remember what you pray for. I remember I fasted for 3 days and I asked God, I said, God, I want you to make my talents and my gifts be the generation of my income. So I've been talking more. I've been getting paid more. So now I'm podcasting. So it's like, hey, let me go do more in-person podcasts. Cause I was thinking small. As I said, God can't fix small thinking. I was thinking small. Let me go do more podcasts where that's in driving range, where I can go drive around and I can make it to the podcast. And I appreciate you, because sometimes, even though somebody know the answer, they won't say anything. They'll let me fail to figure it out for myself. I'm trying to make it month to month. I ain't got time to be trying to figure this out the wrong way. When you said, hey, bro, get this Riverside app and do these podcasts and do them virtually because you can expand your reach. And the way you broke it down for me to understand it, you was like, man, look at Shannon Sharp Nightcap. That ain't in person. I was like, man, he ain't lying. And you see what they doing, bro. Not only did
they do numbers.
What, bro? So not only do I have this podcast with you, but I also reached out to somebody, and these dudes is in the UK. I'm about to go international. I'm about to do a virtual podcast with people in the UK, and it's like, man, I have to stop thinking small. My presence and my message, it ain't a small message. So why sit there and try to do it in person? And then it's like, if they like, homeboy, who told me I can't come onto his podcast because I ain't have enough followers? That's because it was in person. You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking small, asking people that's in my bucket. I'm asking crabs in my bucket to help push me up. You feel what I'm saying? These crabs in the bucket ain't about to push me up. They trying to pull me down and keep me down. So now I got opportunities like you, and I was so thankful because my wife know you as well. I showed her probably like 30 something minutes worth of your videos. And when I was responding back to you when I was telling you, hey, that's a good idea, I appreciate that. That was me driving, but it was actually my wife. I was like, what'd he say? And she's like, oh, he gave you a good idea. I was like, man, tell him. I was telling her what to respond, you know? And bro, that's why like I really appreciate you opening my eyes because it's like, why limit my reach? And that's one of the biggest things. It's like, again, bro, this the self accountability, the ego. If I was egotistical and I didn't take accountability, I'd be like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna do it my way. No, that is a bright idea, bro. You genius, you brilliant. Let me take that and add that to the playbook, and now I'm running the play. You know,
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. When I was kind of scared to bring it to you, but God just compelled me to put it in front of you. I'm
say
like,
that.
this
Man, you
guy
got to say that
has
shit. You got
major
to say it.
talent. And I'm like, on Riverside, I'm like, bro, you could be anywhere in the world you want to go. You can interview somebody in Australia. You can go wherever you want to go. And you know what? From all of this, now you're going to get other opportunities. Come to my podcast. I'll pay for your flight. I got 5,000 for you to come talk on my show. Hey, I got another 5,000 for you to come now because you reaching every day. Like, oh, he just interviewed somebody in California. How did he do that? Oh, come over here. I'll pay for you to come in person. So now you opening up more doors, and it's gonna happen for you. Definitely, bro. I already see your future.
Can,
It's gonna happen for
can
you.
I can I be real with you, bro? Like
Yeah.
when people say that to me, like you know, because people that's a fan of my work or that love my work, when they say that to me, like you go in places and all that stuff that you just said, it shocks me every time because I don't know if it's humbleness or still low self esteem. I can't figure it out. Am I just that humble or I still have low self esteem where sometimes I still put myself in a box? You know what I
I
mean?
see what
Where
you're
it's
saying.
like I don't to me, people like, man, yo, like I seen in one of your comments, you said, hey man, this dude one of the goats. I just see myself as me. I don't think I'm that great, bro. I just come and talk. I just share my story. And it's like, dang, is he saying that about me? And I go on other podcasts and they be like, man, you burnt this mug down. I be like, damn, bro, I just told my life. I don't you see what I'm saying? And it's what's crazy is because like, man, I feel like, I'm 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 Superman out there, but I'm Clark Kent in my life. I don't feel like I'm that special. I don't feel like I'm this super great person. I'm just me. So is this humbleness or is it low self esteem still?
We
And
seem like the same
I've been trying
people,
to work
bro.
through that.
Like how you talk, bro. You like you talking as like you telling my life story. Like that's what I'm saying. My self esteem messed up too, bro. It's like so when you telling me, bro, when you told me that I was good when you went back and consumed my content. I was like, this guy's the GOAT, and he's saying that I'm good. Bro, I thought the same way you thought,
Yeah,
bro. I said the same thing. I'm like, he's saying that I'm good. I'm like, he's the GOAT. I'm like, I'm like, okay. I'm like, is he playing
yeah,
with me, bro? For real, bro. I'm like, this dude is raw, and I'm seeing you do numbers. And when you said that to me, bro, I was blown away. I'm sure I told my wife, I'm like, the man said I'm good, babe. He said he went back and watched some of my content, and he said I'm good. I was like, babe, I don't know, babe. He look what he
yeah.
said. Yes, I
I
appreciate
think
that,
that
bro.
is, bro, is because people scared to be vulnerable. Like I don't think I'm anybody too important to tell somebody else, hey, bro, I'm a fan, bro. You doing your thing. That's just how I am.
That
And
ain't
I'm
normal.
telling you right now, Justin, bro, you are killing it, bro. Your stuff, like me watching your content changed my view on how I see virtual podcasting. That's why I didn't want to do it virtual because a lot of times when you show up virtual and you have a low production value, I feel like that kind of hurts you. You know what I mean? And then they take that content and they make clips. I'm like, that stuff is booty. Not the content value like Omar talking about, but the production value. I can't do a bunch of those. You see what I'm saying? But when I
Mhm.
see how sharp you come up with how rich your content is about what you speak about, I know we're aligned. I'm like, man, everybody on here looking professional. The audio is really good. Maybe this virtual podcast thing ain't as bad as I thought it was, and maybe it was just me. So the reason why I started doing virtual podcasts because I consumed you, and you saying what you said changed my whole mindset. It was a mindset shift. I'm about to be virtual podcasting my ass off. I ain't even lying. I got three this week. I
What
got three
God
this
is
week,
good. What
and it's
God
because of
is
you, bro.
good. What?
It's
God is
because of
good.
you. Yeah.
That's
And
good,
you
bro.
help me. So that's like, if you serious about getting on this journey of personal development, your ego has to leave. And that's a sports thing. The reason why I got good at sports is because I always thought I wasn't good. I need to practice again. I need to run this back. Let me, you know what I mean? And like I said, the low self esteem, I think it came because I was bullied, severely bullied, right?
Yeah.
And I always, my thing is this, is like, that's why I never judge people based off how they look. You know what I mean? And like, don't judge books by their cover and stuff like that's. But I actually started thinking this way from being bullied.
We both in environments with crabs in the bucket, bro. And that's just the way it
Mm-hmm.
is. And and it's crazy, bro. I had one of my homeboys I was talking to, and he does videos, and I was trying to help him with his video. He didn't know that. I didn't tell him that I was trying to help him. I came to him one day and I was like, let me get some of the footage that you recorded in one of the videos, because he do videographer stuff too, because I wanted to practice so I could be a stepping stool for him. I wanted him to use me and my skill, and I wanted to help him with all my heart. But he didn't know this. I understand he's in a crab full of a bucket full of crabs, so he got the same savage mentality. So, and I'm like, I grew up with this dude, and I'm like, dang, bro, let me use the footage so I can edit it and play with it. The man looked me right in my face and told me no. I ain't gonna lie, bro. He didn't know that it almost made me cry because of how I looked up to him. And he didn't know I just was really wanting to be a stepping stool, and I wanted to help him. But he told me, no, man, get your own footage. And I'm like, he never know to this day that what he did. And I still talk to him, but I understand people trauma and they savageness, it'll mess up good opportunities that they don't even know is waiting behind, you know, the curtain for them. And but it just goes to show you, man, where you never know, you know, what door could open for you right in front of you, and you could just be messing up an opportunity, even though I may not even have been an opportunity for him, but just saying I was just willing to help him. I wanted to just be the best for him and to train myself, and he didn't even know that. Maybe if I would have told him that I wanted the footage so I can train to be your personal videographer to help you, he would have given it to me, which is on
Nah,
some quid pro.
it ain't
Yeah,
meant to work that way. It ain't meant to work
yeah,
that way. If people, that's why, like you said, people that mentality, they're blocking their own blessings. I shouldn't always have to tell you exactly what my intentions is to help you. I'm your boy. You best believe anytime I come around you, I'm trying to help you. Anything that I ask for, it's in the benefit of you, bro. You see what I'm saying? So if you tell me, hey, nah, man, you go get your own footage. Man, shoot, that's why that's why you're in the position that you're in. And look where you are now. You don't always have to always give everybody a game plan of how you trying to help them. Just know if I'm around you, I'm helping you in any way. Man, do you like my homie Noble Content say, man, do you need me to hold a door do you need me to hold the door? Can I get you some coffee? You know what I mean? Do you need me to hold your camera? If I'm around you, I want to help you. So I think you did the
yeah.
right thing, but then that also reveals other things to you as well. You know what I mean? So you actually just helped you. That was like a blessing for you. You don't want to work with somebody like that. You don't want to give your all to somebody like that. And I don't even know him, but I'm saying, like, if that's how he is and y'all already cool, imagine if you committed all your time and energy to somebody that won't do the same for you. You just ask for
It
some
won't
video
work.
footage, bro. It won't
It,
work.
it, it won't work. Yeah, it won't work.
Yeah. Man, but you, bro, you a beast with it. I'm telling you right now, you are a beast with it, man. And you went on this journey like this, like you said. I'm glad you like my setup. I didn't even do it. I didn't do it one bit. But like when I look at how you come on and your intentionality and your message, and I can tell you intentional about how you deliver the message. Man, you are a goat. I know you said I'm a goat. No, bro, you are a goat. And that's the thing, man. Like,
I
bro,
appreciate that.
like Omar, for example. Omar was already a GOAT. He was already a GOAT. You know what he was a GOAT of? Studying. He was a GOAT of humbleness. He was a GOAT of observation. Now he's the GOAT of everything. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And like, so when you use the word thought leader, the first thing that went to my mind was, actually, it was crazy. The first thing that went to my mind was like, dang, did he watch Omar? That's one
Yes,
of the things that
sir.
I thought, and I was like, man, bro, and you cooking. I watched like 5 or 10 more of your videos before we even did the show, and I just love it, man. And so, like, any way that we can collab again or whatever, I just appreciate you for, the honesty coming to me and bringing certain things to my attention on how I can get better. I love your message. I love your setup. I love everything that you got going on. And bro, like I mean, it's not even an if for you, bro. It's a win. It's literally a
Bro, that's
win.
crazy because I feel the same way about you, bro. That's crazy for you to say that. That's exactly
Yeah,
how I feel about you, bro. I'm like, man, but it's always good to get that feedback, man, because like I've actually been feeling lost lately, bro. And it's crazy as that sound, because I go through my own thing. I'm going through my stuff with my mortgage right now, and so I've been going through my own little trial and tribulations in life, and I've been feeling lost myself. But and I always tell myself, even though I'm going through all of this, bro, I'm gonna just still stay convicted to my belief in what I'm doing and helping people, bro, because that intention is powerful, and I'm gonna weather the storm, and I'm gonna keep going, bro. Even though I don't know what's on the other side and the unknown, I don't know what's on the other side, but I'm gonna keep going and stay convicted in what I believe in and stand up, man, and especially support people like you, and especially because the world need leaders like me and you, to put this word out and these messages. So just to help people, because a lot of people, they got the crabs in the bucket mentality and they don't want to help people, especially when they
right.
get up higher. They really don't want to help people.
Yeah,
So thank
and
God for
that's
people
crazy
like
that
me
you
and
say
you.
that, man. Because like, oh, I'm sorry, you kind of it was choppy there, but nah, bro, it's crazy that you say that because when I look at what we trying to do, and no disrespect to us, but the world don't see us as a somebody, right? A somebody right now, right? And when we reach out to people for opportunities or we reach out to people for information and they gatekeep against us and they crab in the buckets and they haters and they try to do whatever they can to kick us down, do you know how happy that makes me? Because somebody at the top, they see us coming and they like, oh heck no, nah, man, we can't. Bro, you validating my journey. You validating that it's not an if, it's a win. And you not gonna like when I'm gonna get there. And that's why I keep telling people, like when I made the clip, they trying to stop a problem before it becomes a problem, which actually creates a problem. Like that's what I'm talking about, bro. When people are in a position where they can help you, but they do things to hurt you, they do things to try to talk to you like you garbage, like you trash, to kick down your blocks because they don't want you getting up there with them. That lets you know you actually about to be up there with them. Because
You
if
know
you
what
a
it's
big
called?
dog,
I
nah, I
seen a
don't know what that's called.
podcast. I seen a podcast where a dude says called reverse jealousy, where they already up high and they jealous of the small guy that's about to come up. Reverse
Yeah,
jealousy. I was like,
reverse
wow, that's
jealousy.
reverse
Hmm.
jealousy. I have
Hmm.
nothing and you jealous of me?
Yeah,
It's a crabs in the bucket mentality, bro. It's just the way it is,
yeah,
man. And
you're
but
right.
but thank
It's
God for
reverse
people like
jealousy.
me and you though, who gonna help and bring
Mhm.
people up. Cause
Yeah,
I'm
facts,
helping, bro.
man. Facts. Yeah. But shoot, man, yo, I'm not gonna take up too much of your time, bro. I'm already talked to you for hours. But man,
Yeah, it
I
was
ain't gonna
wonderful,
lie,
bro.
I feel
It
like I
was
needed this
amazing.
conversation, man. I most definitely needed this conversation, bro. So, like, man, you might not be a therapist, but you darn so therapeutic.
Hey, I feel the same about you, bro. I really
Yeah.
needed this too, bro. It's funny, before this podcast happened, I was praying. I was like I said, I've been going through stuff. I locked myself in the closet before you even text me, bro, because you got the wrong date. And so I wasn't expecting no text from you, because we supposed to do
Yeah.
this next week. So I was in the closet,
Next
bro,
week.
laying down on the pillow, bro, and I was praying to God, asking God to show me the way, bro, and to help me. And I was actually crying, bro. And I was like, I don't know where to go. I'm lost right now. And then I got the message from you to get on the podcast, bro. And I was praying before you even text me, bro. I was going through something, and I was like, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm getting up right now. I'm a warrior for you, and I'm ready to go. That's why I told you I don't care about the next day. I was like, bro, we can do it now. Just give me 30 minutes, bro. For real. Yes, sir. But I appreciate
Man,
this
God is
time you
good,
spent
bro.
with me, bro. Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Hey, well, hey, listen, man, bro. Keep doing your thing. We gonna grow together. We gonna elevate together. And one thing that keep me going is to know that the crabs in the bucket, bro. Like I said, they're on borrowed time. And eventually, man, my granddad told me life ain't fair, but it is balanced. It's not fair that some people got to starve. It's not fair that some people have more than others. But life is always going to be balanced. And he said, you know what, balance it out. I was like, what's that? He said, hard work, because your opportunity is going to come. And guess what? While you were struggling, trying to fight your adversity, starving, doing everything that you had to do, but you was working. Now, when you get to the same playing field as them, they can't do nothing with you. They're not going to be able to
Yeah.
do nothing with us. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I want to let you know, man, like, bro, the timing of this wasn't an accident. I know I made a mistake, but the timing wasn't an accident.
It wasn't, bro.
You
I
know?
seen it as a sign from God. It wasn't, bro. That's why I hopped
Hmm.
on him like it's not an
Yeah.
accident.
Yeah. So like I said, man, like much respect to you, bro. And just know that I'm going through it too. Everybody goes through things. And that says a lot about you to go through something and still show up anyway. So, man, God bless you, bro. I'm gonna pray for you. You know what I mean?
Thank
But
you.
shoot, man, we're gonna have to do this again for sure.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. It's all love, man.
Facts.
Thank you for your time, bro.
All right, bro.